Hello friends, I welcome you all for a lecture on transportation model. In this lecture, let us discuss the conditions for optimality. As we know that once we obtain the initial basic feasible solution for a problem, we will have to test its optimality. Also, when we solve any transportation problem for obtaining a full solution, it has to pass through two phases. So these phases are first obtaining the IBFS and then checking for optimality. So in this lecture, let us discuss what are the conditions for checking the optimality. Yes, there are the phases of solution for transportation problem. In phase 1, we obtain the initial basic feasible solution by various methods. There are 5 methods for obtaining the initial basic feasible solution. They are northwest corner rule, row minimum method, column minimum method, least cost method, and Vogel's approximation method. In short, it is called as VAM. VAM. Once we obtain the initial basic feasible solution, we have to test the optimality of the basic feasible solution. There are two methods, stepping stone method and modified distribution method. It is called as also MODI method, modified distribution method. So this is abbreviation of modified distribution method. So in this lecture, our focus will be on modified distribution method, that is MODI method. So always keep in mind, when we obtain the complete solution to a transportation problem, that means initially we have to find out the basic feasible solution and then we have to test it if the solution is optimal or not. If the solution is non-optimal, that is suboptimal, we will have to use any of these methods. But in this lecture, our focus will be on MODI method. So let us move towards the modified distribution method. Now let us discuss here conditions for testing the optimality. As we know that once we obtain the initial basic feasible solution to any transportation problem, next step is to test the optimality of solution. We can determine here the optimality. Sometimes it happens that the solution obtained, initial solution obtained, is optimal itself, but sometimes it is non-optimal, or we can say suboptimal. So there are two methods of testing the optimality of basic feasible solution. The first method is stepping stone method, in which the optimality test is applied by calculating the opportunity cost for each empty cell. So there are the concepts of empty cells, empty cell evaluations. So we will discuss in the next lectures to come. But in this lecture, we will apply a modified distribution method for testing the optimality. The modified distribution method is also called as UV method. So modified distribution method is more easier and more efficient than stepping stone method. Usually it is based on the concept of dual variables that are used to evaluate the empty cells. So this concept is based on the taking the UI values along the rows and VJ values along the columns. So let us discuss the modified distribution method here. In this lecture, our main focus is on MODI method for testing the optimality of a IBFS for balanced and unbalanced problem. I hope you will write all these steps here. These steps are very important for obtaining the solution, complete solution by MODI method. Here, this method is also called as UV method. So keep in mind, MODI method is also called as UV method. We have to take UI values along the rows and VJ values along the columns. This is first step for applying MODI method. So for applying MODI method, we require only cost elements and allocations. Right? Take UI along the rows and Vj along the columns. This is first step for applying MODI method. This method is also called as UV method. Then we have to consider only allocated cells. So keep in mind, we consider only allocated cells and make either UI value or Vj value equal to 0. Initially, we have to take any U value or any Vj value equal to 0 only once. How many UI values will be there? Because we take UI along the rows, so UI values means U1, U2, U3, U4. Similarly, these values will be equal to number of rows, and Vj values V1, V2, V3, V4, they will be equivalent to number of columns. Once we consider or assume any UI or Vj value equal to 0, then we have to determine the remaining values of U and V in such a way that the sum UI plus Vj equal to Cij. The cost which we consider here is only the cost of allocated cell. In the matrix, we have to find out where is the allocation, and at that allocation consider the cost, and that cost should be equal to summation of UI and Vj at respective cell. That means UI value will be along the rows, Vj value will be along the columns. We will consider an example to determine UI and Vj values. Now, using the cost of remaining allocated cells, then we have to determine other values of UI and Vj such that the sum of UI plus Vj across any allocated cell equal to Cij. That means this equation we have to use to determine all the remaining values of UI and Vj. Now let us have one example for determining UI and Vj values. Now let us consider a problem. The given problem is solved, or IBF is obtained by northwest corner rule. So we see here the allocations are noted in each of the upper left corner of cost matrix. These are the supplies, these are the demands. So initially what you will do here, you obtain the solution with respect to northwest corner rule and determine total transportation cost. You will get this much, the total transportation cost, by northwest corner rule. Now to apply the MODI method, that is UV method, we have to consider UI values along the rows and Vj values along the columns. Now let us see how to determine UI and Vj values. As said, you have to take any UI or Vj value equal to 0 only once. So I have considered here this V2 value equal to 0 for this second column. So I considered here 0 value. Now I can calculate the other value of UI respectively based on the allocations. So 20 and 45, these are the allocations as per northwest corner rule. Now our focus should be on the costs. This is the cost. So as per our equation, this is UI plus Vj equal to Cij. Let us apply here. So this is V2 value. Now here is the allocation. Now let us say the cost. So this cost should be sum of respective V value and U value. So as there is a 0, so 0 plus this value should be 21. So therefore we get here 21. So addition of UI and Vj value will be 21 here. Initially we assumed here 0. So 0 plus 21 will be 21. So we get here 21. Now let us find out here U2 value. How to find out? U2 plus V2. U2 plus V2 should be 22. As V2 is 0, so U2 should be 22. So let us cross check. 0 plus 22, this is 22. Now we have to consider only allocated costs for determining U and V values. So this is the concept. Similarly, to determine this value, we should know any of these two values. So now let us find out this value V1. How to find out? As we got here 21, so addition of U1 plus V1 should be 18. Our first value is getting here 21. So 21 plus minus 3, we get here 18. How we get here? Addition of these two should be 18, out of which one value is known, so other value we can calculate. So we get here 21 plus minus 3 will be 18. So here this value should be minus 3. Then if we know this U2 value, here is allocation. Let us consider this cost. So U2 plus V3 should be 26. So one value is known, 22. So other value should be 4. So we get this value. And if we know this value, consider the allocation in this column at this cell, and we can determine this value. As allocated cost is 16, one value is known, 4. So 16, to get 16, 4 plus how much should be this value? That should be 12. That means 12 plus 4, it comes 16. So this is the rule for obtaining U, I and Vj values. Once we obtain U, I and Vj values, then we have to find out empty cell evaluations. So empty cell evaluations are the values where we have to find out a value in such a way that Cij minus Ui plus Vj. As we are knowing here U and Vj values, we have to consider the cost of non-allocated cell, that is, there is no allocation. So by considering this equation, we have to find out empty cell evaluation. So empty cell evaluations, let us just consider in the previous problem. So these values written in the lower left corner in this curve, they are empty cell evaluation. How they are calculated? The non-allocated cost minus summation of these two. So let us consider here 22 plus minus 3, that means 19. So 16 minus 19, we get here minus 3. Similarly, all the empty cell evaluations for non-allocated cells are to be calculated. Once all the empty cell evaluations are calculated, we have to check the optimality. If all the empty cell evaluations are 0 or positive values, then the solution is obtained, and that is optimal. For optimality, this condition is important. If the empty cell evaluations are positive, then the solution is optimal. Otherwise, if any of the empty cells have any negative sign, that means that solution is called as suboptimal solution. Now, if the solution is suboptimal, we have to consider the most negatively evaluated empty cell. Let us construct there a loop taking the turns only in the allocated cells. We have to construct a loop with using horizontal and vertical lines starting from the most negative cell. Construct a loop, then we have to give the alternative plus and minus signs. Starting cell, we have to give positive sign and consequently give plus minus signs. Then consider the negatively signed corners of the loop. In the negatively signed corner, consider the least quantity allocated. Add that quantity to positive corners allocation and deduct from negatively corners. So we have to repeat this until new table gets and check for optimality again. Thank you.